Hey everybody, I'm out here at our first planting. I think we did, definitely by seed. So I'm by the green barn, and this area we dug a frog pond in, which is in the middle, and we're going to reroute the path so that we can see the little frogs again. This is a sun frog pond, so very different than the vernal pool that I talked about earlier, even though sometimes some of those same species use it. Definitely the bullfrogs and green frogs and chorus frogs. You know, I haven't heard leopard frogs this year, so they're usually in here. I hope they come. Anyways, I just wanted to show you how gorgeous this looks out here. Cup plants in bloom, wild bergamot, gray-headed coneflower, purple giant hyssop, Joe Pye weed. The queen and the prairie are already seeding. Oh, look. Hey. Monarchs love Joe Pye. Who doesn't love Joe Pye? It's a great platform for a lot of the big butterflies. In the background we have some shrubs. That is buttonbush, also just a super fabulous nectar plant and pollen I think that we have growing here, along with willows and river birch, all super important as host plants, dogwood. So it's all about that mix, and willows flower so early. So these late season prairie plants are just that, they're late. And so all of these insects looking for early season nectar and pollen can't use these plants. So think about that as you're planting. But one thing I wanted to show you right over here that's not flowering yet, that is goldenrod. And we have predominantly 3 species in these zones, which is Canada, late, and tall. And they can be very easily confused for one another. And one thing that I'm gonna just be honest for a moment, drives me a little bonkers, and so that's why I'm talking here just briefly about it, is goldenrod is super important. And many of us have been taught that it is a weed and that we need to pull it out and it ruins our prairie plantings. And there are some aggressive species, and that's part of their brilliance because they can fill in the holes. So I'm not talking about some of your rare prairie areas. I don't really know much about management of that. I am talking about our home prairies, our home butterfly gardens, our home pollinator gardens, and I can tell you with 100% certainty you want goldenrod. So goldenrods bloom very late. They're a super important source of late season nectar. They don't have tons of nectar per flower, but they have so many flowers that they offer enough nectar. And they also have super high protein pollen. And a lot of the bees, especially the bumbles that are going to need to overwinter, provision themselves with this pollen. And so think about goldenrod, do some research for wherever your area is, but always question if someone's telling you a native is bad, because I question about everything. And so question me too. Do your own research. But just like you question if a non-native is bad, sometimes some of them are okay. And we have some of that here, as you know, that we've talked about. And so right now, though, all I want to say is goldenrod definitely deserves your attention, a second look, and not all the pulling that always happens. I will do a video on goldenrod when she is in flower, and it is one of my most favorite times of year when she's flowering because the fields are just golden.